Boston Mayor Kim Janey is our guest this morning. Let's go on the record. She rose to the city's top office with the departure of Marty Walsh. Now she wants to make history again. Can she become the first woman, the first person of color to be elected mayor? Let's go on the record.
From WCVB Channel 5, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Welcome to OTR. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Wu. It's always great to have you with us. Less than 2 weeks to go until the preliminary election in Boston, and we welcome Mayor Kim Janey into the studio this morning. She became acting mayor in March. Her role as city council president making her the successor to Marty Walsh. Boston born, an advocate for children. First taking office as a city councilor in 2018. She attended Smith College, balancing studies with being a young mother. Thanks for being here. It's great to see you. And here we go, Labor Day weekend.
It is great to be here. Thank you.
Can you believe this summer's gone by as quickly as it has?
It has. It has.
I mean, so many issues that faced you when you took office because of the pandemic. But I think it's fair to say that housing is the #1 crisis that's facing Bostonians right now. This week, you imposed a ban on evictions and set up a $5 million fund to help homeowners avoid foreclosure. Your opponents are critical, most notably Annissa Essaibi-George said that you're, quote, putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole because of your lack of leadership. What's your response to her, and what's your response to the voters that you're trying to encourage to vote for you?
Thank you so much. You know, housing is a deeply personal issue for me. I've experienced housing insecurity as a child and young adult, grew up in subsidized housing here in the city of Boston, even spent time in a shelter for women and children. Saw firsthand gentrification play out in my family when they were not able to hold on to a brownstone in the South End. My very first apartment I was able to get as a young single mom with a Section 8 voucher, and my home that I purchased 20 years ago, I did so through the help of a first-time home buyers program. It is why, in my very first week as mayor, I invested $50 million in a rental relief fund. We've helped now 3,400 households stay, and this is help that goes to tenants and landlords. The foreclosure prevention fund, $5 million. We know that people who own their homes also are just a paycheck away from losing their homes, and so we want to help them. The eviction moratorium, so important. We saw what happened at the federal level, so it was important for me to act at the local level as mayor of Boston to protect residents in our city. And it is very disappointing to hear a candidate, particularly a candidate who has a track record of evicting tenants, be critical of an eviction moratorium. We should be doing everything possible to keep people in their homes, to provide opportunities to live out the American dream. It is why I've also quadrupled the investment when it comes to first-time home buyers being able to purchase a home. I took that down payment assistance from $10,000 to $40,000. I want to do everything to stabilize our communities, to make sure that we are leading. Boston was in crisis long before the pandemic when it comes to housing, and so it is important that we're doing everything possible to keep people in their homes.
As acting mayor, honestly, you have a platform that you can use because you're the acting mayor of the city, and public exposure the other candidates don't have when you do the acting mayor thing. But it also does make you a target when you go into your conversations. So their frequent theme is that you're too slow to act in a crisis. You are reacting and you are not leading. Again, you're reacting and not leading. That's their criticism. Are they wrong?
Well, I'm going to leave all of the criticism to the political pundits. My focus, my priority has always been the people of our city from day one. This is demonstrated in a 30-year plus track record in terms of my professional experience, in my experience as an elected official, whether on the council and now as mayor, and certainly my lived experience. I bring all of those to this job, and I make sure that I prioritize the people of Boston in all that I do.
Given all that, but do you disagree with the acting too slow, reacting and not leading?
Oh, we have led on every front, whether it be COVID and keeping the residents safe, whether it be in opening up our city, whether it has been on police accountability and transparency, whether it's been on public transit. There is a clear track record that I have as mayor of the city And that's only been 4 to 5 months. But I've got a career. I have a 30-year plus career with a proven track record of leadership, always putting people first, always focused on equity, and making sure that we're doing everything to lift people up and not leave people behind.
But your critics have said that you've moved much too slowly when it comes to calling for vaccine mandates among city workers, for example, or mask mandates in indoor places, that they were calling on you to move more quickly. Do you feel that you could have moved more quickly, or do you think?
Here's what I'll say, Janet. So from the very beginning, from day one, have followed the science and the data, listened to public health officials, meeting with CEOs of hospitals, and every move that I have taken has had the people of Boston front and center. Whether it be a mask mandate that went into effect last week, whether it be the vaccine mandate for city workers, we were the first in the Commonwealth to call for a mask mandate for our schools. The first. Boston continues to be one of the most vaccinated big cities in the country. That's not by accident. That's of my leadership. That's because of my leadership as mayor. We have 70% of Boston residents with at least one shot in their arm. We continue to meet people where they are, on the ground, in hard-hit communities. It's why I invested $3 million, day one, $3 million in a vaccine equity initiative grant. We continue to lead, and Boston continues to be protected. Right now, we have our our positivity is relatively flat, but we're not taking our foot off the gas. We're going to keep focused on the vaccine because that is the most effective way to protect the people of Boston.
You do not support vaccine passports for a variety of reasons. So what's your message to restaurant owners, theater owners, operators who are demanding to see vaccine passports before they let patrons in? What do you tell them?
What I have seen firsthand on the ground, again, always focused on following the data and the science. Should we get to a place where we need to implement that, I have already said that I am open. What I see every single day are restaurants that are thriving, and we are doing more to support them in that work.
And we're not there yet, is that what you're saying?
Whether it is being outdoor dining, which has been a lifeline, whether it has been millions of dollars invested, we've just created a new fund specifically for restaurants to help around retention and recruitment.
So they should not be asking for passports? Is that what you're saying?
Restaurants can do what they think is best. I have implemented a mask mandate, working with our restaurants, working with our small business owners, working with our large convention centers to see how we can best support them. From day one, it has always been about following the science and the data to protect the people of Boston. That is why we are at 70% with at least one shot in their arm. That is why we are in a position to reopen our city last spring, to bring children back into the classroom last spring, to do it again this fall.
You have campaigned for the need for transparency, not only the obligation but the need for it. But see, here's how do we balance this? How do you have refused to release the records of 13 police officers who have committed domestic violence in the last decade? You could easily redact the names of those victims and release the information.
We have not refused to release anything.
How would you frame it?
In fact, I would frame it this way. In the 5 months that I've been mayor, I've done more to release records, IA files, than any other mayor. That is a fact.
Can you at least tell us?
And as it relates to moving quickly on transparency with these records,
right.
We've staffed up now. We are building our capacity to respond. There have been a record number of requests when it comes to FOIA requests. And so we want to make
Freedom of information, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we want to
yeah.
make sure that we are responding quickly, and always this balance of protecting victims with being transparent.
Are these 13 officers still on the job?
So I would have to look into that specific case. But what I would say is that in terms of a policy moving forward, we are working with victim rights groups as well as the Attorney General's office and the community at large to make sure that we can move quickly. This is why we're investing and building the capacity of the team so that we can respond quickly on all of these cases.
So you have not looked into whether these 13 officers are still on the job or not? You've never inquired?
My team is looking. My team is looking to make sure that we are doing everything to redact the names of victims and to move quickly on all cases.
But you cannot tell us about these 13 officers?
So that we can respond quickly in a timely way while protecting victims.